This is it though. This has to be the last time we do this. However long this goes, this needs to be the last one. This is the third time we've done it.
It's a wonderful waste of time. It's a wonderful waste of time. It's a wonderful waste of time. It's a wonderful waste of time.
Hello and welcome to the 44th ever A Wonderful Waste of Time podcast. I'm Cross Drayla and with me as always is...
SG.
SG.
I said it with power this time. I said it with my chest.
With your chest?
Yeah, I said it with my chest.
Like physically or just...
Okay.
No one can see the visual.
Yeah.
Bumping my chest
I'm
as I
kind of
talk.
upset that they can't. It almost looks like you're trying to crump.
Trying to make it look bold and like...
Yeah, no,
an
that's exactly
old-timey
it.
king would do.
I said it very boldly.
SG.
Well, not that boldly. That was
Like a knight.
That bass with it, and
That's how you'd laugh.
Well,
As an old-timey knight.
yeah, definitely. The mouth thing you done with the laugh was interesting.
The sort of
as
puppet
well.
mouth.
Yeah. It almost wasn't like it was like the sound in the mouth was off time, and it was interesting.
Yeah. I'm sort of a ventriloquist, but upon myself.
Yeah.
I'm my own dummy.
You are indeed a dummy.
Thanks. This is a show where we look deeper into the things we like, love and hate, and this is the third fucking part of us doing the best of 2017, and it's going to be, and it's going to be the final one, because regardless, we're going to finish it now.
Yes.
So we've done films.
We have.
We've done albums.
Yes, we have.
We've done my indie games list.
You have.
I've got to do the rest of my games.
Yes, you have.
And then we've got to do TV.
Yes.
Including cartoons and anime.
Yes.
Then we're done.
And then we're done.
No more. Regular show after that.
Regular stuff.
Not the regular show, just the regular.
Yeah. No, that's why I said regular stuff in case people got.
I don't even know if that stopped a couple of years ago. So that's not going on the list.
Yeah, but they may get confused still, you know.
So where do we want to start?
You might as well finish your
Just
list.
finish my games
Finish
list.
your list.
Because it makes sense.
It makes sense
to do that and then move on to TV.
Yeah.
So I've already done my indie games, so this is going to be the AAA games.
Yeah.
And much like the indie games, I do have one definitive winner.
Okay.
I kind of have a second place as well.
Yeah, sometimes it's good to have a first place.
You got to give something the props it deserves.
Exactly. I think that's what kids are missing these days, is the reality of winners and losers.
Yeah.
Because most of them are losers. But people don't like telling them that.
And they'll never be winners if they don't know that they're losers.
Exactly. That's the thing.
How will they know that they need to win?
Bam.
They'll just think that they're winners even though they're losers.
It's a broken system.
Can't give everyone a medal.
Broken system. That's what I say. Broken.
You think everyone gets a medal, then they might as well just compete and not try. Because
Exactly.
coming last, they get the same reward as putting the effort in for coming first.
And that's not how
Competition can be healthy, but not always.
Not always. Not always.
People take it too far.
If you're timing your shits and stuff like that.
I doubt it affects any of these major games companies I'm about to talk about.
Segue!
So I'm going to I have sort of a fifth, a joint third, fourth,
Cool.
a second and a first.
Yes.
So I'm going to start with my fifth, which is one that I was debating whether to put onto my list because it involves characters that are from a games company that may feature on the list already.
Cool.
So there was the Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Castle Battle, whatever the fuck it's called. I wasn't sure about putting it on there, partially because it's good, but there may be another Mario game that pops up on the list at some point.
You say maybe, I'm feeling
it is really good. It's everything everyone thought from watching the trailers when they first came out, where it is basically they put together Mario and the Rabbids from Rayman, and it's XCOM. It's basically really similar mechanics. It's that sort of turn-based like RPG, but it's strategic. It's moving to a place to shoot people from.
Okay.
And Mario with guns is kind of a weird thing anyway.
Yeah.
So to do that in the first place was a bit dodgy, but then they've done it really well. It's really good. It's really fun. It's kind of casual to play. It's not difficult. I've played like most of the game. I haven't actually finished it yet because it didn't come out that long ago. Or did it? No, it came out fucking ages ago. I just didn't get it till really recently. Sorry, it came out in August. I haven't had it for very long now. But I've only had like one boss where it's been difficult up to that point. The rest of it's been pretty casual, but I kind of enjoy it because of that. It's been a bit lighter. It's kind of nice to have, compared to some other games, a bit of reprise and a bit of easy. It's just about working out what to do, and there's no real consequences if you fail either. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that's what I like about it. I like that about it, man.
Sometimes that's nice. I don't like that in every game. If it's a game I really like, then I really like a difficult version of it. Like, I really love Fallout, so survival versions of Fallout I'm really into. As much as it's difficult and it sets you back when you fuck up, I don't care because I fucking love it.
Fair.
Whereas something like this, I would get pissed off if it kept sending me back. Because they made it unnecessarily difficult. Because it's good, it's just not that good that it would work for me. If that makes sense.
What was the name of it again?
It's Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Okay.
So it's, you know, the little rabbit things?
Yeah.
They're basically like the minions from Despicable Me, but not. They're really similar.
Great.
I think it's that weird, like, French humour, because they're both French things. Do you know that? Do you know that? Ubisoft's a French company.
Oh, right. So
Ubisoft make... Yeah, no, it's not Mario. It's not a Nintendo game.
Yeah.
It's an Ubisoft game.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can see how
and then the company that make Despicable Me are French as well. Illumination.
Oh, fair enough.
So I don't know if it's just a weird shared humour.
Well, they do have their own style of animation, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, they've got their own style of doing things. So
does everyone.
Good point.
Nobody does the same thing. That'd be weird.
That would be weird.
If everyone made the same thing, things would be boring.
It would
it would be anime.
Whoa.
Everything's really similar sometimes.
You know, the drawings may look a bit similar.
Yeah, really similar most of the time.
Some, you know.
Cool. Yeah, so that's that.
That's 5, yeah.
It's good, but it wouldn't go higher up on my list. And I would like to mention as well, before I carry on, there is a lot of games, like, this is my list. You know what I mean? I haven't played every fucking game that came out this year.
What have you been doing?
Like, I haven't, like, forced myself into playing everything just to review it on a podcast. So there are some games that a lot of people have ranked quite highly that I haven't played. And even if I did, I might not like them. Because part of the reason I didn't buy them is because I thought when I looked at it, I don't think I'm going to enjoy this.
Exactly.
So it all makes sense to me.
Yeah, makes sense to me too.
So going into the joint third, fourth is Mario. So let's get that out of the way because it was kind of obviously coming.
I knew it was coming.
Mario Odyssey, the new 3D Mario game, is really fucking good.
It looks really sick.
And also, as sort of a side note, by far the console that's had the best time of the year is the Switch.
Yeah.
Nintendo have had like an amazing console that's done really well this year, and lots of really good games coming out. And because they're supporting other things, it's better to play because I've been playing indie games on it because it's not just bringing out Nintendo games.
Yeah.
It's not like what they did with the Wii U and everyone got pissed off with them. I didn't end up buying a Wii U because there wasn't a lot of games that I really wanted on it enough to bother getting it. Whereas this, they kept announcing things and I was like, oh shit, I need to buy a Switch. And now I've got it. It's amazing. The ability to just walk around with it and just put it straight into the TV and not load anything. Yeah. You literally just plug it in and it's on your TV. You want to move away from your TV, you just pick it the fuck back up and immediately play it on. It's genius.
It's so crazy, yeah.
It's such a good idea.
Yeah.
And the games look amazing still.
Yeah.
There is no... It's not quite as detailed as... But it's not really their style, is it? It's not quite as detailed as having something on like a PlayStation on a very high-spec like PC gaming setup. But it wouldn't be.
No, exactly.
And it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
It's really good games on this amazing console. They've had like a really good year. But the new Mario is really good. It's really fun. It completely continues everything that's fun about 3D Mario.
Yeah.
It's a lot of like little secret spots to find and exploring the world. And the option to not do that if you don't want to. You can just do the bits that you need and move on. Yeah. Or if you're like me and you want to
really nice,
100% it, you can get everything. It's really nice. And I like that all of the worlds have a really distinct, different style.
Yeah, because the colours.
It's really nice.
Colours really, it's nice.
Even in like the people and stuff like that. So there's like different enemies and different like local people to each kingdom that he goes to. And there's even like the New Donk City thing, which is really weird. There are like humans. There are like straight up humans in Mario. And Mario's walking around. None of them seem to point out that he looks really weird compared to them because he's sort of like disproportionate to everyone else. But it's really good. It's a really well done game.
British.
What?
They're probably British.
Who are?
The people. So that's why they don't put anything out, because they're really polite.
Oh, you were making a polite joke.
Yeah.
That was weird.
How was it? He said that none of them pointed at the fact that he was really fortunate, and it's like, because they're polite people.
Yeah, but making a British people a polite joke in Britain doesn't really work.
Why?
Because none of us pay attention to how polite we are.
What? We can laugh at that. We are overly polite.
It's what we're used to.
It
only contextually makes sense when you're somewhere else where people aren't polite. Whereas you don't notice it when you're among it.
Well, other people listen, so they would appreciate
Also, it's called New Donk City, so it's pretty obvious what city it's based on.
New Jersey. Sorry.
I like there was a little moment of you thinking of another city to say.
Okay, sorry.
So the other one that's going into my sort of third and fourth slot is actually another Ubisoft game. Okay. The new South Park game.
Oh, yeah.
Which I loved. Just everything about it. I've talked to you about it before.
Yeah.
It's so fucking good. I just love the South Park games. I really hope that they just continue making South Park games. I love the show and the games. Everything about South Park is amazing now. Do you remember when they used to bring out shitty South Park games? And it was just always sort of disappointing. Then they brought out the Stick of Truth. No, they did. They used to, there was like games on Nintendo 64, and it was just the characters, and they had some catchphrases and stuff like that. But it wasn't really a South Park game. Yeah, it wasn't really that connected to it. Whereas the Stick of Truth is just like a film. Actually, no, the Stick of Truth is kind of like a season of South Park. It all goes back and forward quite a lot. The Fractured But Whole is kind of like a film. It's more of a consistent story.
Yeah.
Everything about it, I love it. And I think every time they make a game, it's going to be one of my favourite games of the year. Because I think they're incredibly clever writers. And they understand that they're making a game, which I think is wrong with a lot of other adaptations like that.
Yeah.
So they make jokes about the fact that it's a game. And I like that. Yeah. I like that they know what they're doing. They clearly like video games, so they're making an adaptation. They can put in jokes about the fact that it's a game, and it works really well. So Mario & Rabbids 5th, joint 3rd, 4th, Mario Odyssey, Fractured But Whole. In my second place is Horizon Zero Dawn.
Heard of this.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's set in this weird world where there's sort of Nordic-esque tribal people. Yeah. It's a post-apocalyptic game essentially.
Yeah.
But all of these people have sort of restarted. That's supposed to be part of the plot that was sort of like, I think you work out, it's pretty obvious from the get-go what's going on. Because there's these giant robot creatures that are knocking about.
Okay, yeah.
So you play as a woman called Aloy who leaves the town that she grew up in to try and find out what's going on in the wider world, and you sort of go out and explore, and you go and see everywhere else because you're sort of an outcast. Everyone sort of doesn't trust you for some reason you've never known since you were a kid, and the guy that raised you dies, so then you leave because you're like, no one here. There's not really a place for you here, so you go and explore the world to try and find something else. But the robot creatures look amazing, and they're all ranged. They all look like animals and dinosaurs, but there's quite a range between them. Because there's like birds and stuff as well. Yeah. There are like T-Rex looking ones. Yeah. There are a lot of smaller ones that are like wild cats and stuff like that. It's amazing. It's really good, and it's a bow and arrow game. And every time a game has a bow and arrow, I'm like,
it's kind of cool.
It's so much more fun than shooting people to hit them with a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
And the ability to go and pick up your ammo again and stuff like that, I think is fun. It's like a practical weapon as well. But it looks amazing. The detail in it is really cool. The story is really good. It's really fun. Pretty much everything about it is so spot on, and it was so close to being my favourite game of the year. Ooh. And I love the character as well.
I'm excited.
I really like Aloy. Yeah. I got like the collector's edition that when it came out, so I've got like a statue thing of her that looks really fucking badass. But the number one game that just sort of pipped it.
Okay.
And kind of won everyone's top list, I think, this year.
Yeah.
Is Zelda Breath of the Wild.
I was waiting for Zelda, actually.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Just everything about it's so good. And the little details. You know when people talk about games, or talk about Nintendo games, and say that it's got that Nintendo polish?
Yeah.
You can feel the Nintendo polish in the little bits. Everything works. Everything's clean. Everything looks pretty good.
Yeah.
There might be like a couple of little tiny bits, but it's never anything that really goes, oh, they didn't really finish this off properly.
Stunning.
Whereas you play Mario and Rabbids, and there are bits in it where you get like graphical glitches or people that haven't loaded in straight away, and there's like a frame of them missing and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a much smaller game than Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is pretty massive.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff going on. And I've never had anything go wrong in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is open world. You can just walk around and go where you want, pretty much. But it's the little details of stuff that you can do.
Yeah.
You can sort of skate on your shield. And it's the most fun thing that's ever happened.
That's it.
Like, you jump up, put your shield below your feet,
yeah,
and you skate down stuff. So if you're in like a desert bit and you're high up, you can skate down on that.
Yeah,
but it's so intuitive, and everything that you think, well, it'd be good if you could do that, he can do that.
That's
like, I was doing that, and I was doing it down the sides of mountains, and I got hurt, and I was like, oh shit, it'd be better if I could like switch and paraglide, and then go back to being on my shield.
Yeah.
And then I tried to do it, and he just got the paraglide out, but he still has the shield. So they clearly thought, you're going to want to do this down the side of mountains. That's going to be fun. Yeah. So you can sort of switch between them and just carry on doing it. It's amazing. And it's really good. The combat's really good. The story's good. It's a massive game. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
My one thing with it, and I kind of get why they didn't do it, my only thing with it is the horses. You have to like either bring your horse with you constantly.
Yeah.
Or go to one of there's quite a lot of them, but you have to go to like a place where they look after horses. I can't remember what the proper term for that is. To pick up your horse.
Stables?
Yes, like a stables.
Oh, they've got a name
it's
for
a different now, I can't remember.
Okay.
But I kind of like to have the like Red Dead Redemption thing of wherever you whistle, your horse shows up, because I think it would make things easier.
Yeah.
If it's like you're in a cold place on top of a mountain, you whistle and they're like, no, you're on a mountain, dickhead, you can't get your horse to come up here.
Yeah.
That would be fine. But it just feels like
Professor
every time I climb a mountain, I don't want to have to go back to somewhere to pick up my horse to carry on.
Yeah.
I kind of wish the horses were better, is basically it. That's the only thing. Other than that, it's amazing. I even like that all the weapons break after a little while and stuff like that, so you just keep picking up random weapons and you have to toss stuff out every now and then. But I like that. Yeah. And I like that they've kept all of the puzzles in shrines. So you go to a certain place and you know you're going to go there and you're either going to do some combat or solve a puzzle and then leave. It's all sort of sectioned off in a really nice way.
Know what you're doing more.
Yeah. So when you're exploring, you're exploring. When you go into a puzzle place, it's a puzzle place. It's not just... There are some puzzles out in the regular world. They're little bits. It's typically to get the Korok seeds, which you use to get upgrades to your inventory size and stuff like that. Cool. But it's nice that there are shrines. You go into a shrine, do a puzzle, leave the shrine.
Yeah.
Cool. I prefer that.
It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Which is kind of a similar thing they did with Horizon Zero Dawn, where there are bits that are based on you going into somewhere technological.
Yeah.
And it has this real shift. So you'll go into a place, it can be like going into a cave or going underground somewhere, and you're in a bit where you know this is where all the robots are going to be, and this is where you get your upgrades because it's all technological based in Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah. So she has like a staff that has like a chip in it, so she basically downloads data essentially to be able to take over the creatures. She can control them. I didn't mention that, did I? That's part of what's really cool. You can take over the creatures. It's fucking tight.
That's pretty sick.
Only for like brief moments. You can ride some of them as well. That's pretty cool too. But it's that similar thing of, it's really good when games give you a comparison of places.
Yeah.
Where you have your walking around and you can see the different changes in the areas you're in. They're very similar games actually. Like you'll go to a deserty place, you'll go to a snowy place, you'll go to a foresty place. But there's this link all the way through it where you go into these underground caves in Horizon Zero Dawn or the shrines in Zelda, where it has a completely different feel, and you get that this is a different thing, that you've got something particular to learn here.
Yeah.
And then you go back into the world. I really like it. But it
makes you follow the game.
Just based on those two games alone, it's been a really good fucking year of some good games. Especially, I really like open world RPG type games like action RPGs.
I prefer games like that. Yeah.
I like that, and I like point and clicky puzzle games, which there's been a couple of this year as well. So it's all gone well for me.
Good.
I've had a fun gaming year.
Good. That's good to hear. That's good to hear.
So yeah, my number one, Breath of the Wild.
Boom.
Definitely. Close second, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Close second.
And that was the first one of those they've made as well. So that's pretty
good game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what they do with the rest of it. Should we go into TV now then?
TV, we shall go into.
Do you want to start, since I've just listed shitloads? Do you want to do your first one first?
Yeah.
So what have we got? Are we going to do TV, or do you want to do your anime stuff and then do TV?
I can quickly just wax off the anime, and then we can, okay, cool.
Build up to TV, because we've both got a lot to talk about.
So, first one off the bat, because I've been catching up with the old series, it's Dragon Ball Super, which is a follow-up from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Well, Dragon Ball, which led to Dragon Ball Z, which led to Dragon Ball GT, and Dragon Ball Super. Yes, that's how you make a franchise. But like, the reason I've actually been catching up with Dragon Ball Z is because of Dragon Ball Super. So I caught some of the episodes, and it's just
made you want to rewatch the
other I just wanted to really grasp the story a little bit more, and it's like, you don't really have to be fair, but I just wanted that wider understanding of what's going on. It is just serious, man. It is serious. They've revamped it. It visually looks really nice, and they're just like, it's what anime is all about. It's just the extreme power. It's the ridiculous power that they can just give the characters, you know what I mean? And Dragon Ball is just, king of that, really, of that hype.
Yeah.
And half of the way they create that hype is through longness, which is what I'm experiencing with Dragon Ball Z. They can stretch out the fillers, but that's anime. Next one is something that's been out for a while. Probably one of the oldest running animes at the moment. But always coming in strong. And no, it's not Naruto. Fuck Naruto. It's One Piece. It is One Piece, right? And One Piece is just... It's serious, man. Serious. So, at the moment, I haven't even caught up for the last, few weeks. But it's cool. I caught up in 2017. It's alright.
Yeah, I was curious to see what series it's actually on.
Yeah.
The 2017 series is season 18.
Okay, so it's now season 18.
Oh, no, sorry. That's the one that finished in April. But there's another one?
There would have
19 what's on... 19 started in April. So, one finished, the next one came out immediately.
They run through. They just run through.
It's just never not on.
It is literally it's literally every weekend. It's just ongoing, which is wonderful. But again, the thing about One Piece is though, when it comes back, it comes back. Like when they'll have the filler episodes, and then when it gets serious, it gets serious. And now it's getting even seriouser. Is that a word? Did I just say that?
You did. It's not. But yes. It's not a word. You did say it.
Oh, it's serious,
serious, sir.
How old am I? Okay, cool. So yeah, it's got a lot more serious. A lot more serious lately. With regards to who they're facing, like the enemies. The villains just build up. Yeah. And it's a great thing about animes is obviously as the characters get stronger, the villains get stronger. One Piece is on that plateau right now where he's facing one of the bigger enemies that's always been planted there. He's gonna have to face these people, and when he's facing these people, it's getting to that point where real shit is gonna start really popping off. Even everything you've seen before is so fucking gassed. So you're like, raw, he's about to face. It's just called Big Mom. And yeah, so it's just gas. It's gas. And it's just keeping strong. You gotta respect that. So One Piece out. Shout out to One Piece. Right, so I was going to change this one because we found out that it was officially 2016.
Let me double check it.
But I believe it was released in 2017. That's when I saw it.
Maybe it was here. If it was here, then it counts.
Okay, cool.
As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, so as far as I'm concerned then, this was 2017. It's the Adventures of Sinbad anime on Netflix, right? So, I'm catching a few bits on Netflix, which I'm liking. I'm not gonna lie. There've been some good anime on Netflix that
they've been picking up a lot of anime.
Yeah, recently. They've been picking up a lot of anime, and some of them have been really good. Basically,
they certainly get people talking about quite a few. That Devil Man that's just come out a little while ago.
Yeah.
A lot of people are talking about that at the moment.
That's good. No, you know what it is? It opens up the conversation for it a lot more, and I appreciate that because I'm all for people like actually experiencing what anime is. You know what I mean? Like rather than just being like, oh, anime only certain people. Like, come on, experience it. Like actually watch the damn fucking thing. And yeah, so they've been really helping with that. Yeah, I kind of lost my trail on that, just praising Netflix. But yeah, this is one of the good ones. This is one of the good ones they've put out.
Yeah.
I believe I thought it was a Netflix original, but I think it was taken on.
I think they picked it up.
Yeah.
I think the first series wasn't, and then they picked it up.
And yeah, they've really.
Not that I'd watch it.
It's a great spin on and this is what a lot of great animes do. This it's a great spin on a classical story.
Yeah.
They've really vamped it up. They've made it a little bit, and it's funny as well. Actually, characters. Again, it's got all the makings of a good anime. Funny characters, relatable story in a sense, as in we know it. We know the some of us would know the legends of Sinbad the pirate and stuff like that, and just that kind of whole aspects of it. And it gives you no matter how accurate it is, it's a very imaginative history. So you get to at least enjoy that. So yeah, Sinbad would go India, like that. And then I've got two left, and one of them is going to be one that you've probably heard of because it was everywhere, and they're doing a big production film of it. Actually, it's Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Second season.
People talk about
that. Yeah, and you know what? They're rightfully so, man. It's a hype, and it's a great story. It's an interesting take. Like the monsters look interesting. It's kind of got this historical feel to it, and it's just it's nice. It's nice. It's well put. It's a great story. The monsters are fucking interesting. The main character is really interesting. The dynamic of it, what they're doing, the tension behind it is great. So rightfully so. Rightfully so. And it's like, it hasn't got that over glamorized sheen to it as most animes do, where they make it look really clean with the animation. It has this very slight sketchy feel to it. No, I mean actually on some scenes you can see that kind of sketch. That's sketchy animation that really comes to play, and it really works with it. Yeah, so it's doing great, man. Like, it is actually, the hype is there for a reason. I really enjoy that anime. It goes there. It may be next to Dragon Ball Super, up there.
2017.
Yeah. And then last one I'm going to put in there. I'm just going to put this one in there again because it was introduced from Netflix. I'm going to shout out Netflix for what they're doing.
Talking about TV, you're going to hear a lot of praise.
Yeah,
from Netflix.
Definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie. Netflix is getting a lot of shout out over there. Endorse. So last one is Blue Exorcist. They come out with a new season. I heard about Blue Exorcist time ago. It's the maddest thing. Time ago, and I think I watched the first season that came out before.
Yeah.
But it fell off for me. I mean, I didn't like it. Wasn't a continuous film for me, and I think it actually did take a big pause. Anyways, new season's great. Like the story itself is really, really good. Another really interesting story. Another great take on things that we're kind of familiar with, but obviously it depends on what culture you come from. Where you'd be more in tune with stuff like that. Like ghosts and demons, and for certain cultures it'll ring more of a bell for certain. So it's really, really interesting. They've got a really good mix of it's not. It's a bit, a little bit like Attack on Titan, where with regards to the era it is and the settings, it's got this kind of old but modern feel to it. Most in Blue Exorcist is more modern, but then it's just like the weapons they use and stuff like that. It's just still got this kind of they'll use a sword or a gun kind of thing. And obviously Attack on Titan, they had those crazy apparatus.
Yeah, they're like.
The
harpoons.
Yeah, crazy stuff.
They have waist harpoons.
It's really interesting actually,
and
they tell you they go through the whole thing of how to use them and all that stuff. It's pretty interesting. Blue Exorcist obviously it's more about the spirits elements of it, demons and all of that. It's fun anime, brothers, the element, the young kids in school, typical anime in that sense, but it's good, and it's accessible. I think I'm trying to go for accessible animes here, where like
accessible.
accessible
or accessible.
Accessible.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Not like.
Not ones that everyone can judge.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but yeah. So sorry. Yeah. So yeah. Basically, animes that would be easy for people who have not really watched anime before.
Yeah.
These are like less. They're still wild in aspects. I think One Piece would be a wilder one to just get introduced to, but it does bring you into the world of One Piece really well. But the others are like Dragon Ball Z is quite easy to follow as well. To be fair, I think after a while you just kind of get used to it. You just understand that into world stuff. But yeah, the rest are like more familiar stories, and I think it will be easy to transition into the anime world with stuff like that. So
I think Netflix does do a huge favour for it as well.
It does.
Because for someone like me who I kind of want to watch anime, but I don't know that I like it enough to pay for like a Crunchyroll subscription or something like that for me at the moment. Yeah. Maybe if I got more into it, I would. But it's kind of a good gateway for me to
definitely
see some stuff.
Some stuff. I mean, like, you know, you probably won't get Attack. Is Attack on Titan on?
Attack on Titan is not on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you won't get that. You probably won't get One Piece.
It might be. I don't think it is.
Yeah, you probably won't get One Piece on there.
Yeah,
and I think they had Dragon Ball, but you probably won't get some.
Yeah,
I mean, like, there's a few heavier stuff that
Netflix has got a few originals, but really, it's kind of good as like a.
I think
getting into it thing, but then if you're really into it, then you're better off buying like Crunchyroll. That's just shitloads of anime, isn't it?
Definitely, and like. There's a difference because some of the Netflix originals that are Netflix originals are pretty whack. I'm not gonna lie, like, but they've taken on some good animes, as well. So
that's the same thing with all of their stuff in general, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hit and miss sometimes.
That's how TV is, isn't it? Netflix has some really shit shows they've produced for some reason, and then a lot of really fucking amazing stuff. So, yeah.
I mean, on that note, I think we should swing on to the TV.
Should we go into the TV? Yeah. Did you have a number one with the anime?
A number one for me is probably going to be Dragon Ball. Mostly because of Dragon Ball Z though, so it's a bit biased on the past.
It's just a thing you really like. That's
But I just really liked it, and then
it's about your number one. It's not. It doesn't have to be hypercritical. It can just be that's your favourite.
That's your favourite. That's what
I think that's fine
right now. Yeah, I'm just gassed off that. 100. Yeah, there we go.
Cool. Should we go into regular TV then?
I mean,
do you want me to start with one that I'm pretty certain is on both of our lists?
Go on.
Do you want to talk about Ozark?
You know what's crazy?
Did you forget to put it on there?
I didn't forget.
You didn't put it yourself on my I'm really surprised because you really liked that.
I did really like it. I'm looking now, but I'm thinking, I did really like it, but I'm still up in my list. But to talk about
I think Ozark's amazing.
Yeah.
It's got this really nice drama feel that I think has become more popular over the last few years. I think, I said this before when we were talking about it, I think since Breaking Bad, people have started putting more money into doing these drama shows that aren't period pieces, that aren't silly, over-dramatic stories. It's about real people doing fucked up things.
Basically.
People are willing to put more money into that now, and it's spawned a lot of really good shows. I think Breaking Bad's when people put the money. There's always been shows like Dexter, even with Michael C. Hall. If you look at like 6 Feet Under and stuff like that, there's always been shows that were this kind of drama. But that's when people were like, "Oh shit, we can put shitloads of money into this." And do it well when it doesn't need to be like a fantasy thing. It doesn't need to be Game of Thrones. It doesn't need to be sci-fi. Those aren't the only things that need money. You can put money into normal people and have high budget productions of that, and it pays off because it makes it more interesting.
Definitely.
It's just because it's regular people doesn't mean they need less funding.
Yeah.
That makes sense. You can pay for higher quality actors and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you can get Jason Bateman to direct and star in your thing about someone who's forced to clean dirty money for a Mexican cartel in a weird little fucking town. And it's just amazing. The setup,
it's all believable. Like,
it feels so like, this could be a documentary of a thing that happened to some guy. Where he got caught in this fucked up situation. He goes to a place called the Ozark, which is it like a fishing? It's got these they're based around like a big river or something. they're based around the fact that they're near water and stuff like that, essentially. And so he moves there because he has to clean shitloads of money for the cartel so that they don't murder him and his family. Man. So he moves him and his family there instead, where they've asked him to... Well, no, it was his idea. He saw a pamphlet for the Ozark. Actually. Oh, was it? Yeah, his idea, but then he sort of stole it after they'd murdered his friend. Basically. And so he moves there to invest in like property and stuff like that. And he puts it into building projects as well and stuff like that. Anything he can, because he's got to get rid of so much money to flip it around to give the money back. But he gets caught up in all the local people's business and stuff like that. And there's amazing performances in it, particularly Jason Bateman. And I don't know the actress's name. Let me look it up. Character's called Ruth, Julia Garner. She's so good. Big frizzy blonde hair.
Oh, yeah.
She's really amazing in it.
Really good in it,
But them two... And them two together, them two playing off of each other, was fantastic. I think it's really worth watching. Great that show.
Yeah. Nah, good show actually. Really good show. So, my first one on my list is Mindhunter.
Oh, I haven't watched this yet.
Oh, serious?
I keep going to watch it, but I know I need to focus, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And it's hyped up for me because it's David Fincher produced it.
Oh, sick.
Who's one of my favourite directors.
Okay.
So, I'm like, when I watch this, I need to watch this.
No, 100%, man, because it's like... One, the story itself is really interesting.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the name of the agents are the same, but it's basically how the criminal psychology part of the FBI got really established. Because it's about two detectives. Well, no. There's one who is he basically just teaches now. He just teaches like junior detectives.
Yeah.
And then there's another. I don't want to ruin too much. But I mean, there's nothing too much to ruin. You can give the overview. So, and then there's another one who is like, I guess relatively. I don't know if he's relatively new to the field or whatever, but he's trying that. He's trying something new now. He's trying to really operate in a different way because he's seeing that the way they were operating before isn't working, and he's trying to understand why. And so he basically goes and starts interviewing serial killers.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, like it's just so interesting. Obviously, they start working on how to profile them, and what categories and what questions they've got to ask them to then get that profile for that category.
I like stuff like that.
Exactly, it's so intricate.
I like crime
it's so
things.
well done,
and especially
I love crime stuff as well.
I was gonna say. You saying it's them going and talking to these people kind of reminds me. There's an author that I like called John Ronson who does like biographical things. He works for like papers and stuff. Like he worked for The Guardian and GQ.
Yeah.
But he has a book called The Psychopath Test, and he's learning basically what a psychopath actually is. And so he goes and sees a psychologist called Bob Hare.
Cool.
And learns. He's like one of the people that studied a lot about psychopaths. But he also just goes and meets psychopaths, just goes and interviews them, and he goes and meets a guy in prison. That's why I thought when you said it. I love this book. It's amazing.
I love this.
That's why I was thinking, it's
literally...
There's a bit in that where he keeps going to prison to talk to a psychopath.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, you know what? This is kind of a similar thing.
It is so similar. And that's why it goes on my list, because it's so interesting. Yeah. So well done. Really well paced as well. Like, it feels like they never have to rush. Yeah. Like, the way it was produced, the way, like, it was edited at the end, it was just so well put together. Where you're like, this is really comfortable to watch, where it's quite uncomfortable things they're covering. And, like, they still make you feel that as well. There's really tense moments when you're like, right, this is crazy. Like, this is great. He's in a room with a serial killer, and they, like, moving in certain ways, and you start to question yourself as well, because like there's moments where he has those. It's so good. It's so good. So Mindhunter.
Yeah, I desperately need to start watching that.
No, it's really good. Really good.
My next one, and the first one, it's not a Netflix show, though I do have other Netflix shows. Don't worry about that. Actually, everything else might be Netflix shows.
It's all Netflix for me.
This might be the only thing. Is it? This is the only show that's not a Netflix show. Then, Fargo season 3 is fucking amazing.
Cool.
David Thewlis, is that how you pronounce his surname? Thewlis? Spelled like that. David Thewlis, who was also in Wonder Woman, he's been in like quite a lot of good things this year.
Yeah.
He's sort of the villain of this. It's about Ewan McGregor plays sort of the main two characters because he plays twin brothers.
Okay. Cool.
And one of them is like a parole officer.
Yeah.
Who has a very attractive younger girlfriend in the form of Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and sort of gets himself in shit constantly. He's like the fuck up. Yeah. And the other brother's really successful, and they're sort of feuding between them and stuff like that. But then David Thewlis's character shows up, and he's basically just there to fuck with everyone. And to get everyone into debt and to take over their lives.
You need people like that, man.
But he's such a good villain.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, he feels like genuinely terrifying, and he's just some bloke.
Yeah.
He just seems really wrong in the head. Like, you just feel this intense...
Fuck with that guy.
Exactly. It's just the intense... He's not like a big bloke. He's not like a scary looking bloke.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like he could beat the shit out of you. He just looks like he would murder you at any moment. But they did his character incredibly well.
Yeah.
Ewan McGregor was amazing in that series as well. And I particularly want to shout out one episode in particular. That was weird. I said particular too many times. I particularly want to shout out one episode in particular. There's an episode where they use the music from Peter and the Wolf.
Oh, okay.
So
Peter and the Wolf.
So it's like a fairy tale thing.
Oh, okay.
And the music from it, each character has their own scoring.
Oh, okay.
So they use that, but they used it from the soundtrack where it explains people being scored with it. So it'll say, Peter is, of course, scored by the clarinet or whatever it is. But then it shows you one of the characters. So it shows you the cop who's looking into everything. And then it will go, and the hunter scored by brass instrument. And then it will go to one of Ewan McGregor's characters. And so it sets up all of this stuff. And then it goes, and then the wolf. And it shows you David Thewlis. And it's all this dramatic music. And you're like, he's evil. He's the wolf.
Is that the start?
That's how it sets it all up, and then it brings in the music for the whole episode.
That's it.
And it's so clever. And I watched that one and I was so impressed. The whole series is really good. But that episode made me go, fuck, this is really well done.
Cool.
Let's go for the next one.
Yeah, I know you were struggling with this one, but I had to go on mine because it was great watching. BoJack Horseman, season 3? 4. Really good, man. Yeah, I was like, the reason I really like this one is it's because it proves to me why I liked BoJack, and it's like it's the maturity of it, and it's that perfect example of when people say, "Oh, you watch animation, you're like." That's like a childish feeling.
Yeah, which I think people are getting over a bit more.
Yeah, they are, definitely. But, there's always that little bit of a stigma for it. BoJack's one of those things you can really point to and be like, come on, take that in. Like, really take that in. I mean, I've been saying that about Simpsons forever, but no one's ever really going to listen.
Yeah, but it is more brutal than The Simpsons.
This is different kettle of fish. Definitely a whole different ball game. But it's a great example of what... Like, you don't need actors all the time. You can get great emotions out of, you can do emotional cartoons. Yeah. Which still, because it's a cartoon, it allows you to do certain things where you can get more jokes out of it. Yeah. And obviously with BoJack, it's just, they're all animals. So the amount of puns out there is
beautifully designed animals.
The
artist who designed all the characters from that, I follow her on Instagram. They're so good. I just love all the background characters are so interesting looking as well. The art style's amazing in that. So
and then this season it got real.
Yeah,
it got really real.
This season was about him potentially meeting his biological daughter.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you don't need to go into much more than that. That's the setup for the fourth series of it. Actually, but I like that it does that thing where it switches so easily between something really fucked up that's happening to BoJack to Mr. Peanut Butter doing something fucking dumb.
So stupid.
Like with his brilliantly satirical game show that he was doing and stuff like that. Yeah. Or to him and Todd making the theme park in the last series as well. Or the kind of just dumb shit that they do. It's such a brilliant juxtaposition to BoJack having such a fucked up life.
Even touching on Todd, He's a really interesting.
He's a really
as well,
he is because they give
well.
him interesting stuff. Especially
was
it this series or last series where they start talking about him being asexual and stuff like that? It
started with last season.
Yeah, then they sort of continued it.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about.
I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, exactly. It's just introducing people to these little things that you may not be able to do.
So I really struggled because I was straight away you're going to put it on my list, but I thought you'd put it on yours, so I kind of wanted to shout out an extra thing.
Fair.
But it would definitely be... It's definitely my favourite animated thing that's come out this year.
Yeah.
And talking about, like, quite real animated things, like adult animated things, there's, like, 3 that Netflix put out that I can think of that do it really well. That, Big Mouth, and F is for Family.
Oh, yeah.
All 3 of them do it really well. BoJack definitely, for me, is still the best one, though Big Mouth was amazing as well. And I would have put it on my list, but I wanted to shout out something else.
Fair enough.
And I thought you wouldn't put it. You'd put it on yours, so it would get talked about anyway. But it's so good. It's genuinely, I think, one of the best shows being made right now. Yeah. And I still think a lot of people don't watch it because it's a cartoon.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is stupid.
So stupid.
Should we go into my next one?
Yeah, buddy.
So next, I'm going to do it in order that I've written them down. Fuck it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Stranger Things season 2.
That's crazy.
Is it on yours as well?
We've literally put it on the same, like...
Oh, we're doing it at the same time.
Third,
oh, okay. I didn't know any of us were going to match up.
Yeah, Stranger Things, man.
Stranger Things, I think, is the best show on television still.
So good.
Definitely my favourite. Every character in it is really well written and really well performed. Yeah. Like, to a ridiculous degree.
Yeah.
Like, how are they finding so many children that can act so well?
So well.
It's like just stupid
levels. An absolute. Isn't one of them like actually British?
Millie Bobby Brown, who plays 11. She's English.
Yeah. Even that. What's she doing there? What's going on? Like, I heard her accent and I was like, what? Usually somewhere around. You're like, I know that it usually is that way. You're an American accent.
That's so many people like that. You forget.
But she, I mean, like, they're all so young.
Yeah.
And you forget how hard it is to be that talented when you're young.
Yeah.
To be that focused. Because acting's a focused game.
100%. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
particularly Mike, Finn Wolfhard.
Oh, yeah.
Best name of all time, Finn Wolfhard. Like, he's like the main kid. His emotional level is so fucking good. Like, they all have their strengths over the others. Like, I think a lot of the serious stuff is really good with Dustin, especially in the second season. The relationship between him and Steve is the best thing. Steve, her boyfriend, Mike's sister's boyfriend, with the baseball bat. The relationship between them two in this, where he sort of started like teaching him how to adult. Essentially, how to sort of be a teenager.
When he started teaching how to do his hair and everything.
Their whole relationship was amazing in this season.
It was really well done.
It's so good and so... It's really brutal, even though it's not real world stuff. But it is. It's like sci-fi stuff's happening, but they're all learning about normal life things at the same time, and it's really fucked up.
You're just watching them grow up in a fucked up situation, and you're like, rah, man, kids, you've got it hard, but you've got persevere.
All of the relationships are so good, and they're really good at making you care about people as well. All of the relationships, when I'm looking at all of them, Hopper and Eleven and Mike.
Yeah.
The Lucas, Dustin, and Mad Max
when
thing. The three, the new girl. Max. The thing between the three of them was really good.
Yeah.
Steve, Jonathan, and all of the relationships are so well written. Wow. They all feel so real. Nancy, that's her name. They all feel like real people going through shit. So well done, and it looks amazing constantly. I think the things we've been talking about, I think everything we've talked about, all of them are really visually really good. Ozark, Fargo, from mine are both really good.
Is really visually.
This just really appeals to me though. This is really my style. Like I like sci-fi stuff, so it really adds to me.
Part of the reason that I put this on is I was surprised about how much I liked it.
Yeah,
because I'm not the biggest sci-fi person, but like the paranormal gets me a little bit, you know what I mean? And it had that element to it, but it obviously was sci-fi. Like, but it was so interesting. Like, less so because of the, you know, the other world, the dark side thing. It was more so because of how these kids are. They're jokes, fam.
It's how they react to everything.
It's how like, and you know what? Half of it is the audacity that they have. They're just like, they don't care. And I'm thinking, bro, you're just you know, like you're just little kids. Yeah, I would have been running the other way half of the time.
Yeah.
But you've got Dustins are like...
It's because they're all like kids that kind of want something... Because they're all like the outcast kids.
Yeah.
They're this group of friends who get shit from the rest of the school, essentially. But they're all the kids that want something weird to happen, so they've got something to prove themselves.
Slightly, yeah.
And that's kind of what happens to them.
Oh, wow.
They have all this fucked up stuff, and they get a chance to prove that they might not be the coolest kid in school... But they're fucking brave.
Yeah, they've got heart, man. They've got heart to the end, man. Yeah, nice. It's such a good...
The only real criticism I have with the second series of it...
Yeah.
And please remember, I only really criticise the stuff on this list when I really like them, like I criticise Breath of the Wild with the horses. Because other than that, it's a fucking pretty perfect game.
Yeah.
The same thing with this. I liked most of what they did with 11 in this series.
Yeah.
Then there's that bit where she goes... and sees another group of people. She runs off just before the end.
Yeah.
And as much as it was kind of interesting, it was completely pointless in my eyes. Because she basically learnt things that she'd already learned and then returned to everyone. It was a waste of time. And it felt like she wasn't involved with everyone else for most of the season. To build up to that. And that was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, they really did. I feel like they could have done more with 11, but at the same time...
I feel like she should have gone somewhere else and done her own thing, and we should have seen her do more of that.
More of that rather than being...
There needed to be more of her character in it for me.
Definitely.
And I feel like the reason that they put that bit in, because it's actually the opening for the series, you get the opening scene is about the other group that she goes and sees eventually, is because they'd have planned it to have completely different cast every season. It was going to be, every season was a completely different story.
Oh, okay.
But around the same things happening and around the Upside Down and the experiments and stuff like that. It was all going to be these different groups of people.
Yeah.
So I think they were probably the group they were going to do the second series about. But because they liked the characters and everyone liked the characters so much, they kept with them.
Yeah.
But I felt like they were forced in and they didn't need to really be there that much. So I think that took away from a little bit. But it's so good, and I think is my favourite thing that's been on this year and last year when the first one came out.
It was until the last thing on my list, but before we get to that, I'm just going to cover Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I know it should have been based off the most recent season, but...
It should, because that's what we're doing.
Yeah, no, definitely. And the recent season, it's strong, so it will still go up there for the comedies I've watched anyways, you know what I mean? Like, it is still one of the best comedies I've seen at the moment, just for the fact that I like their humour.
Yeah.
Like, there's that almost no hold bars, but we still kind of get what a douchebag is.
Yeah.
Humour, you know, it's that...
They're relentless. I don't think they've lulled for me. I don't think there's been a point in it. They've done 12... I've seen 12 seasons of it now.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's been a bit where, like, they've run out of ideas and they're forcing stuff.
It
constantly feels
great.
like they've got somewhere to go with it.
Half of the real appeal of the first few seasons it was that kind of where the fuck are they going with it now?
Yeah.
Whereas now I feel like they can go anywhere with it.
Yeah.
You know, like you say.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, no, this is why I'm like, for me, the newer seasons where they were still really good, they still had the jokes in this, and it's really interesting with a comedy that's not a rom-com to still explore the dynamics of the character.
Yeah.
You know, and they like, as hilarious as it is, they still give the characters this little things that you can always follow. You know, the role of Charlie and Frank. They've implied forever that that's his dad, right? Really. And he's living and sleeping in the same house, and kind of, you know, that whole dynamic and just little bits of like what his mom was like before. It's like Charlie is a really interesting character. The other characters, you know, like what's his name? I was about to say Joey, but it's not Joey.
None of them are called Joey.
No, it's just
Mac.
Mac. It was like the Friends equivalent. This, you know, the stupid jockey kind of type.
The
stupid jockey type.
Like.
Wait, so it's not what? Nah, Joey's like kind of jockey and
Not really.
No? Okay, well, Mac.
He was an actor, he wasn't like a sports guy.
Yeah,
he's not like a jock.
Yeah, I'm just...
If anything, he's considered more like the player. Whereas Mac is definitely not that. If anything,
he's
that's
not.
Dennis.
He's like... Mac is not the player.
Don't try and compare It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with Friends. It's not going to work.
It's just the general like physique type. I'm stretching.
You're trying to force it.
I'm stretching. But basically, Mac, right?
Yeah.
The overly sporty type.
Not at all.
He is. That's what he. That's what he takes. As in what he presents himself to be.
He wants to be manly.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
That's what I'm saying.
sporty.
He wants to be like really. Not like he goes for sports. He does the whole like go sports shit. You know,
they all do that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, essentially. But he's like, okay, he wants to be manly. Then let's macho,
masculine. He's overcompensating.
He's overcompensating. Well, okay.
That's what the character is. Sorry.
No, that is what the character is. But I'm just saying, what he wants to present is that whole "I am a real man" thing.
Yeah.
You know, so he goes to church as well because God is the only way our souls can be saved, and he loves women, but he doesn't.
Yeah, I love that. That's a thing that all makes so much sense now as well. Yeah, through like all of it, because there's always been a thing they sort of hinted at.
Yeah, no, they've always
more boldly said that Mac's gay but won't talk about it.
Yeah.
I love that.
He's gay.
He's sort of, and they were like, well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, no, but like
it makes so much more sense that all of the things that he does is to try and not seem cliched as gay. All the stuff about religion is because he tries to be the kind of religious person that would condemn gay people.
Yeah,
he tries to be over masculine so that he can't be considered like camp or anything like that.
But then
all of his build-up is because of that.
Yeah, they don't really these things that like. So he's a good example of why homophobia is stupid. Because essentially, if you're homophobic, then there's some things you need to question about your normal interaction with people. Like it's just a normal thing, but the way he overplays certain things, and and I'm pretty sure there was a sports thing, but I'm not sure. But there was definitely that the thing that Dennis set up that was basically to get Mac to do everything for him, and then it became like a men's club.
Yeah,
and then Mac just basically done everything he could to keep it a men's club. Like women can't get involved, and all of those dynamics to then be like, well, that's him overcompensating for the fact that he really is in fact more attracted to men.
Yeah.
Really interesting character.
And there's quite a lot of really good episodes in this. There's kind of this weird bundle of three that I really like together. The one where they go to the water park, I really like because of Dennis and the little girl, who is essentially young Dennis.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. I thought that was really clever. They're like them trying to out-con each other.
Yeah.
And then the next one after that is the old lady house. The one where they move Mac and Charlie's mums in together.
Oh yeah,
because they've been living together for a while, but they make it into a TV show.
Oh yeah. Oh my god!
But then, and then the one after that is the Wolf Cola one. So like the three in a row are really amazing. It's actually, I think it's 2, 3, and 4. The Wolf Cola one.
Is amazing.
They've basically become this like parody of the Trumps, essentially.
Oh, it's amazing.
They're like this. They become these characters that they've created, who have got this to get out of this product thing, and they pretend that they're this family that have a history and money and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
and then keep putting their fucking foot in it. Like Dennis just keeps saying things that make them sound worse and worse. And it is like Donald Trump tweeting things that makes himself sound like more and more of an arsehole.
No, babe, not liking dogs.
But it all just gets really ridiculous. It's really clever.
So good.
For like an in quotes, outrageous show.
Yeah, it's so
clever.
Good. It's so good. But like, there are shows that can mindlessly make jokes.
Yeah.
And it's just them basically making jokes of these situations.
Yeah.
But there are shows that can reflectively make jokes and show people how stupid these kind of things are, and like how we can do this in a show because it's not real. But what we're doing is showing you that this is a douchebag way. It's a stupid way to live.
A lot of other sitcom-y things just do it about personal interaction and like social things.
Yeah.
Whereas this does a really good job of being quite political.
About
everything.
Really well.
But do it in a way with these characters where it's still funny. It's not preachy.
Yeah, exactly. It's not preachy.
It feels quite honest. It's really like South Park to me.
You
I think they're quite similar in the way that they treat things.
With their humour and the way they attack things, like the way they tackle things with their humour. Very much so, actually. And obviously that's why shows
the willingness to make them just do something really stupid suddenly.
But that's why shows like South Park can always suddenly get stick. Yeah. Because sometimes people don't
always want to hear that kind of shit.
Basically, yeah. Essentially, yeah. So, you've got your fourth or fifth one?
Fourth, because we both shared Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah.
So, my fourth one is going to be Master of None, the second season of it.
Heard, yeah.
It's just so good. And there's a few different people that write on it.
Yeah.
So, you wouldn't really attribute it to one person, but it all feels like it fits together really well. But they, as a team, I guess, all do this thing really well where they make romance and love seem both really normal but really amazing. Not to go back to talk about Friends, because we were talking about it a second ago. In that, when they sort of have rocky relationships and they get back together and stuff like that, it's silly and I don't care. And it's just like very like magazine-y. It's very like, oh, they're back together. It's a bit like that. Whereas in this, I genuinely feel like you really want them to sort their shit out and be happy. And when they fuck up, it feels how actual people fuck up. Yeah. It's not like a sitcom. It's not like Friends where somebody cheats on someone and then they get back together and they get over it. It's like if they fuck up, they fuck up. Yeah. And the second season, he comes back from Italy, because at the end of the first series, he goes to Italy to try and sort of clear his head a bit. And he comes back, but there's this family that he met in Italy who he's been working for. So, like, the grandma of the family was teaching him how to make pasta and stuff that. And the daughter he became friends with, and her group of friends, essentially, so like her boyfriend and stuff like that. But the whole season is essentially him falling in love with her, but she's with someone else, and he's trying to be with other people, and he's trying to get over it, but he can't, and it just does it so well. It's so honest and it feels so personal. It's amazing, and it's really well shot. I think it's like the best shot rom-com type thing there's ever been made. It's beautifully shot. It looks amazing. Sick. And I think that probably gets underappreciated because of the type of show it is.
Yeah, rom-coms can be really hit and miss.
And a lot of them can just be like shitty studio 3-camera setups and stuff like that. Whereas this is like film style. Sick. Yeah. You can tell this has budget. Yeah. You can tell someone's thinking about the aesthetics of it. Yeah. And they make everything look pretty beautiful. Nice. And it feels well planned. Yeah. It doesn't just feel like 17 people wrote this and the producers directed it and it got forced out and this is all on the actors who have just learnt the scripts because they made changes 3 days ago. This feels planned. It feels like an indie thing with a big budget. It feels like a small team with shitloads of money, which is probably not. It's probably a big team with lots of money anyway, but it feels personal. It feels so well planned that it doesn't feel like somebody made changes last minute. It doesn't feel like anything went wrong. And it's still really funny as well for something that's romantic, especially Eric Wareheim, who is endlessly fucking hilarious. He's really good in that as well. Fucking good show.
Sounds good.
Respect it.
I will.
No, I just meant I respect it. But you can as well.
Yeah, no.
Join.
Share respect. Cool. So this is my last one. It is one that has like shows that people tell you to watch forever and you just don't, and then you just end up watching and you're like, I've missed out. Yeah. But I'm glad because I've got to watch it in a bundle. So there's some Peaky Blinders, right? And And I like gangster stuff, I like kind of, crime and, that violence in TV and films, not in real life. It's not a way to live your life. But it's fun to watch people live their lives like that. So it is really interesting. So it's about a particular gang from Birmingham that basically, by the looks of things, is going to take over the world one day. And it's set in so before Winston Churchill was Prime Minister, like quite a while. So that era. Just after Second World War. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just after Second World War.
Set after the the First World War.
First World War.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, Churchill was the Second World War. So
oh my God. Thinking about it's going to get so good. Because they haven't got the Second World War yet. So it's just going to get fucking intense.
Maybe that's how it'll end.
Oh, it's going to be so sick. Oh my God. Sorry, yeah. I just got excited because I've just seen the potential of what they can be doing here.
Yeah.
Because it's global stuff. Like, they've managed to make group of gangsters from Birmingham. Yeah, they've managed to layer, like, gangsters. It's weird. Like, so that, like, because they're not just bad people. They're like, so think like they've just come back from the war. They're shell shocked. They're desensitized. They're detached as well from like what real life is. They've spent God knows how long. The main character, I think it was Jimmy. Tommy
Shelby.
That's the one. Yeah.
He's Cillian Murphy's character.
Yeah. So Tommy, he was a tunneler in the war. This is someone who literally dug on the ground to build tunnels for people to go out and kill people. Like, you know what I mean? And obviously he's got experiences of that. And it goes through how traumatizing experiences can change people.
Yeah.
So that's already one thing to that. They could have made a whole thing of that, and that could have been interesting. And then they're gangsters. But they're ambitious gangsters. Like, they're not just happy with just, running a local area. Tommy wants the fucking world, alright? So he's competing with government officials. He's competing with London gangsters. Yeah. He's competing with and then in the new season, he's competing with shit overseas now. He's like, he's trying to go out there with it. And it's managed to go from a gangster film to like an espionage spy thing, you know what I mean? Like, it takes you through some great emotions as well. And like I said, the characters in it, they go and come as beautifully as ever. They all have really great stories that, even if it's not a long-winded thing, they're well established. You know who that character is. They don't need to explain too much.
Good actors in it as well.
Great actors, a lot, and that. The performances are like, I haven't looked at it and thought anyone's off in this. Yeah. Like, they've got Benjamin Zephaniah in it. For the love of fucking God, they've got Benjamin Zephaniah in it. I'm just like, raw. Is that Benjamin Zephaniah? Raw. How is he playing a 20-30 something? That's not right.
I just googled it. He's 59. So,
he's bloody old. And you see him in this, and he still doesn't look out of place. You don't think that's an old Gary. No, you're thinking, right, okay.
I was going to say, it's got like, if you said there was a show that had Cillian Murphy, Adrian Brody, and Tom Hardy in like some of the main cast, that's pretty...
Oh yeah, Tom Hardy in the second season as well. And in the recent season, sorry. Again, that's another character that they didn't need to do too much with. Yeah. And he's established now.
Yeah.
I know what it's about. Yeah. I know what he can do. I know, if he's involved, there's something going down, blah, blah, blah. They're really well doing. And obviously, it is the fact that you've just named great performers. You've named people who know their craft and they know how to establish a character straight. They know which traits to bring out. And this season, raw. It's just so many twists and turns.
I remember watching the first season of it and not getting into it, so I didn't end up watching it. I'd quite like to watch it now.
It does develop.
The fact that people still watch it and still say it's amazing.
Yeah, seriously.
There must be something about it, so I think I should start watching it again.
It knows how to set up and close. So it knows how to close the season and set up the next one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, great cliffhangers, essentially, is what I'm saying there.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about the next season. Yeah, it's crazy.
So. Should I do my last one?
Yeah.
So my last one is Love, which I've talked about as well.
Oh?
I've talked about. Well, we did an episode talking about it.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's just really good. The thing we talked about before, where she's really dysfunctional He's just like a nerdy guy that really wants to have a proper relationship. Yeah. And the girl that he kind of falls for, she's like a sex and love addict, but she also was taking drugs and she's trying to stop, and was drinking a lot and trying to stop. It's just really good. And is it the second season or the third season? Hold on. Yeah, so the second season of it just continues with basically their fucked up shit. You know what I mean?
Nothing changed. We still fucked up.
They can't get up. They're still fucked up.
Yeah.
But it's so well done. And in contrast to Master of None, I wouldn't say it's as amazingly shot as Master of None. It's not got that sort of artistic quality to it. I do think it's much funnier though. I think it is more focused on them being kind of funny as well, because their relationship's quite funny. Like the Paul Rudd character, Gus, has like a real sense of humour, so he'll make fun of things and be a bit of a dork and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's funny. Gillian Jacobs is hilarious in like everything she's ever been in. But she does it as well, even though she's playing this really fucked up character. Like, they'll take the piss out of each other and it'll be funny. Yeah. Their relationship seems really nice, even though you know that there's something fucked up about it. And it doesn't do the same thing that Master of None does, where that sort of makes everything really romantic, and that's really nice. But I like this for contrasting reasons, where it makes all of the romantic stuff seem stupid. But I like that as well. It's like a complete opposite thing, but I appreciate both sides of it. Because it is kind of hypocritical. It is sort of like a paradox in itself, where loving someone is really nice, but also it's dumb, and everyone becomes dumb because of it. So I think Love does that really well. And there's, again, a particular episode that I wanted to say is really good. So there's one where her dad's coming down to meet her. Okay. So she introduces Gus to her dad. Yeah. And her dad seems really nice at first. He seems really friendly, but he's a dick and he's an alcoholic, and you can see where all of her shit comes from. And they do it so well. They handle it really well, and it feels really honest, and her reactions are amazing. She's such a good actress. You really get looking at her, even when she's not saying much. Her obviously, it's how it's written as well. It's her reactions to stuff, but she performs it so well. It feels really well. Like, she'll snap at him, and you get straight away, you're like, oh, she's not angry at him. It's because her dad's there and she's uncomfortable. You can sense that she's uncomfortable. You can sense that she basically doesn't want her boyfriend to see where all of this bullshit that's in her life is coming from, because she knows it's her dad's fault. And she doesn't want to expose him to that, but knows that she has to, because moving forward, if their families are going to be involved with each other, he's going to have to meet her dad. It's just really well handled and so funny. It's just really good. Oh, I just really like the series, basically. Yeah.
You got a top one there?
I don't know what else to say. Stranger Things, probably. Stranger Things is my favourite still.
Yeah, fair enough. For me, it's Peaky Blinders. Definitely Peaky Blinders.
I have like a slightly longer list of just other good shows that I just wanted to.
You could do.
I'm not going to talk in depthly about them. I just wanted to say Glow was really good. Blackish has been really good. Cool. There's new League of Gentlemen. There's a program called The Get Down that got cancelled because basically they put too much money into it. Basically, they kept wanting more money, and I think they were spending their money poorly. Is basically what happened. Yeah. So it's because of all the licensing of music and the sets and stuff like that. And you've got to think they probably paid quite a lot of money
for the music. For
Jaden Smith to be in it.
Yeah.
His character kind of unnecessary now. What I would have done, I would have said to them, what we're going to do is we're going to take the main couple of characters. Yeah. Did you watch it then?
I've watched most of it. I've got to
Ezekiel Books, the main character, the girl band, and Shaolin Fantastic, and been like, we're just going to do them. He's going to pick up a contract, go on tour. That's what the show's about. You can cut off the rest of the characters. You don't need to pay all the money for the rest of them. And just have them pop up every now and then maybe they probably still could have afforded to carry on the show. It was a really good show, and I really enjoyed it, and it's about things that I'm very interested in.
It's been good so far.
And I really don't like that it ended up getting cancelled, but I can see why they ended up cancelling it from what I've read about how much money was getting, like, fucking ridiculous money.
Oh, mad.
Game of Thrones would be like, oh, I'll take some of that money. And Game of Thrones gets a lot of money. But for that kind of show, it seems stupid, the amount of money that was getting put into it. And it was really good, and the main actor deserves far more work. I can't remember his name, but he was really good. So yeah, I would recommend watching that. That unfortunately got cancelled, but that was out this year. Tin Star, the Tim Roth thing was really good.
Cool.
Chewing Gum, have you ever seen that? That's every season, so that's good. Walking Dead, I want to talk about quickly.
Cool.
Because, have you seen, do you watch The Walking Dead?
I've watched the new seasons. No, I haven't actually.
The newest season, I didn't like that much. The season before was the best season of it, in my opinion.
Cool.
I really hope that they turn things around again and start going more into that direction. Because they basically animated it and drug out a whole thing for the sake of one fucking fight. And it's stupid.
Animated.
This is what we were talking about earlier. That's why. And Orange is the New Black is good every year. And one of my favourite shows, iZombie, as well. I love that. iZombie.
Interesting.
I should shout out because it's one of my favourite things.
Just give me a synopsis of that.
So it's about zombies, if you haven't worked out from the title. She's studying to be a doctor, or she works in a hospital at first. Yeah. She's like a nurse or something, but I think she's studying. Yeah. She goes to this party that she gets talked into going to, and there's like a zombie outbreak at the party that gets covered up. Okay. And all the zombie outbreak is to do with drugs and stuff like that. So she becomes a zombie and basically abandons her old life and starts working in a morgue instead. Then she starts working with the police, and the way that the zombies work in that show is, because it's based on a comic book, the only thing they really took from the comic book is how the zombies work. Yeah. Where if they don't eat brains, they become feral zombies. They turn into more like classic zombies. But if they keep eating brains, they remain more human and can cover it up. But when they eat brains, they have like visions of the people whose brains have eaten. So she starts using it to help a cop solve a crime. And then she sort of becomes a detective who works in the morgue because she's seeing visions of the people. So basically, every time somebody gets murdered, their body comes to the morgue that she works at. She eats their brain and uses it to solve crimes. It's the best fucking show, and I love it.
I have to watch an episode of that. I have to, for the love of it.
I love it. It's so good. And you can say it sounds like a silly concept. It doesn't sound like the smartest show that's ever been on. The main actress is fucking phenomenal. Because she starts taking on the personality of the people whose brains she's eating. So every episode, she has to. She's not only. Where's she from? Hold on.
Is this on Netflix?
Yeah, the first. All of it's on Netflix now. Yeah.
So
the actress is from New Zealand. Yeah. Not only is she doing an American accent, she has to do shitloads of different American accents because she's taken on loads of different people's personalities every episode, and she's so good at every single one of them. As Rose McIver, she's fucking amazing.
Cool, I'm gonna watch an
she's the reason the show works. Go and watch iZombie.
Yeah, that sounds so sick.
I can say that like Stranger Things is the best show of the year and one of my favourite shows of the year. iZombie's not artistic or high production or anything like that, but it's also still one of my favourite shows of the year.
Sounds sick.
So shout out, go watch fucking iZombie, guys.
100%.
Come on.
100%.
You should start watching it. It's really good. And we're going to wrap it up there then. We've done everything.
We've done a lot.
It was even still a slightly longer episode. But we did it. 3 episodes. What was supposed to be 1 episode, 3 episodes. We're done. 2017 is over, guys. Forget about it. We're in 2018 now.
Well into it.
Forget about 2017.
Was there even a year before 2018?
Who cares?
Exactly.
If you want to hear more from SG, you can go to mrsouls.bandcamp.com or soundcloud.com/mrsouls, spelled MRSOLS. Yes. If you want to hear more from me, you can go to YouTube and search Renegade Pineapple, where I play Let's Plays mostly, and do a couple of other things, like we do food tasting and weird shit like that as well. If you want...
How's food tasting weird?
Well, it is weird. It's a weird thing that we as people do go, we're going to make a show about us just eating some food.
No, fair enough.
And if you want more from the podcast, it's available on... And I always shorten this list, so I'm going to give you a fuller list now. It's on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Yeah. It's on the podcast app. Yes. If you've got an iPhone, it's on that podcast app because it's on iTunes. Same as if you're on Android, it will be on whatever their podcast app is as well. If you just generally Google us, you'll find us on shitloads of different podcast places because they all just take it from our RSS feed. So we're like everywhere. And I might be putting us on another platform soon as well. So we should be everywhere. So go and find us. You can also get updates from us on Facebook and on Instagram. Just search us up. Search AWWOT or A Wonderful Waste of Time.
A what?
And you'll find us. What?
A what?
And if you want to contact us, you can email us at awonderfulwasteofemail@gmail.com, or you can leave us comments anywhere. Do that and tell us what your opinions are of the things we've talked about in this one. So TV, anime, cartoons, bigger budget games.
Yeah.
Or you can go on to the other two that we've done and you can tell us your opinion on that. Oh, fuck it. Now we've done all three, you can just send me one massive list of your opinion of everything and I'll fucking read it because I like to know what people think.
Can you all make your list a top 10 just so?
No, don't do that. Top 5.
Just so across those.
You can make it.
Feels like.
You can make it a top 10 if you can make it 2 different top 5s with a valid reason.
Okay, just
that's what I did.
Genre your shit.
Yeah.
and let's get set
I'm
top
fine
10.
with that. You can do that.
Cool.
I'll let you.
Go on.
So you can leave your comments everywhere. Also, like, comment, subscribe, review us on iTunes. Tell people about the podcast. We're going into a new year of podcasts.
Yeah.
Reviews done. It's going to the normal stuff.
Yeah.
Who knows what will happen? Might we have some guests? Hopefully. We're planning for it, so hopefully there'll be some guests this year. That's it for this week's podcast. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
It's a wonderful